My estranged sister tried to steal my lottery winnings, but my dead grandfathers will had other plans. I'm still reeling from everything that happened, and I honestly don't know where to begin, so I'll just start from the beginning. My name is Alex, and I'm 32 years old. I have an older sister, Sarah, who is 35. Our relationship has always been strained, to say the least. Growing up, Sarah was the golden child. She was beautiful, popular, and excelled at everything she did. I, on the other hand, was the quiet, artistic one, always in her shadow. My parents, bless their hearts, never overtly favored her, but the difference in their treatment was palpable. Sarah's achievements were celebrated with grand parties and expensive gifts, while my smaller victories were met with a simple "that's nice, dear." This favoritism reached its peak when our grandfather passed away 5 years ago. My grandfather, a kind and eccentric man, had always been my biggest supporter. He was the one who encouraged my art, bought me my first set of good paints, and always told me I had a special talent. I adored him. When his will was read, it was a shock to everyone. He had left Sarah a substantial sum of money, enough for a down payment on a house, and a collection of antique jewelry. To me, he left a small, seemingly insignificant wooden box and a letter. The letter, which I was instructed to open alone, simply read, "Alex, my dear, your greatest treasure isn't measured in gold. It's in your heart and your hands. But just in case you ever need a little push, look inside. Don't open it until you truly need it." The box itself was locked, with no key in sight. My parents and Sarah were confused, even a little disappointed for me. Sarah, ever the pragmatist, declared it was probably just sentimental junk. I, however, cherished it, knowing my grandfather had a reason for everything. Fast forward to 6 months ago. My life had taken a turn for the worse. My art career, which I had poured my heart and soul into, wasn't taking off as I'd hoped. I was struggling to pay rent, my car had broken down, and I felt like I was constantly swimming upstream. One particularly bleak evening, feeling utterly defeated, I remembered my grandfather's box. I dug it out from under my bed, ran my fingers over the intricately carved wood, and for the first time, felt a strong urge to open it. I spent hours trying to pick the lock, using everything from hairpins to paper clips, but nothing worked. Frustrated, I almost gave up, but then a small, almost imperceptible inscription on the bottom caught my eye. "The key to freedom lies in what you create." It hit me then. My grandfather, the man who championed my art, was telling me to make the key. I spent the next few days sketching, designing, and then finally, painstakingly carving a small wooden key that matched the lock's intricate design. When I inserted it into the keyhole and turned, there was a satisfying click. Inside the box, nestled on a bed of faded velvet, wasn't more sentimental junk. It was a single, crisp lottery ticket, and a smaller, sealed envelope. My heart pounded as I pulled out the lottery ticket. It was dated a week before my grandfather passed away. And then, I saw the numbers. My breath hitched. They were the winning numbers from a lottery drawing that had happened 3 years ago, a jackpot that had gone unclaimed. The amount? $12 million. That I sat there, staring at the ticket, then at the envelope. I opened the envelope with trembling hands. Inside was another letter from my grandfather. This one was longer, more detailed. He explained that he had bought the ticket on a whim, never really expecting to win, but when he did, he saw an opportunity. He knew about the tension between Sarah and me, and he wanted to ensure I had a safety net, a way to pursue my dreams without financial pressure. He also knew that if he just gave me the money outright, it might cause more issues. So, he devised this plan, a treasure hunt as he called it, to make sure I truly appreciated the gift and understood its significance. He had consulted with his lawyer to ensure the ticket could be claimed by me, even after his death, as long as it was within the legal time frame. He also mentioned a specific clause in his will, a hidden one, that would protect these winnings from being contested. That I was in shock. $12 million. My life had just changed in an instant. The first thing I did was consult a lawyer, a different one from my grandfather's, just to be sure. He confirmed everything. The ticket was valid, and thanks to my grandfather's foresight, the claim process would be relatively smooth. He advised me to keep it quiet until the money was officially in my account, which took a few anxious weeks. During this time, I didn't tell anyone. Not my parents, and certainly not Sarah. I wanted to process it myself, to make a plan. I thought about what my grandfather would want. He wanted me to be happy, to create, to live without the constant burden of financial stress. I decided I would use a good portion of it to set up an art studio, invest in my passion, and live comfortably. I also planned to quietly help my parents, maybe pay off their mortgage, without making a big fuss. The day the money finally hit my account was surreal. I felt a sense of immense relief, but also a strange kind of pressure. How would I tell my family? I decided to wait for a natural opportunity. That opportunity came at Thanksgiving. My family, including Sarah and her husband, always gathered at my parents' house for Thanksgiving. It was usually a chaotic but generally pleasant affair. This year, however, I went with a secret weighing on me. I tried to act normal, to laugh at my father's terrible jokes and endure my mother's subtle critiques of my single status. The conversation eventually turned to finances, as it often did with my family. Sarah, who had recently started a new, high-paying job in corporate law, was bragging about her latest promotion and the expensive car she was planning to buy. My mother chimed in, lamenting about how expensive everything was becoming and how they were struggling with their retirement savings. My father, ever the stoic, just nodded grimly that I felt a pang of guilt. I had been planning to tell them about the money, but the right moment never seemed to present itself. And then, Sarah, with a smirk, turned to me. "So, Alex, still living the starving artist dream? Maybe you should consider getting a real job, something that actually pays the bills." That was it. The culmination of years of being belittled, of being seen as the less successful sibling, snapped something inside me. I took a deep breath. "Actually, Sarah," I said, my voice surprisingly steady, "I think my dream is doing just fine. In fact, it's doing exceptionally well. So well, in fact, that I recently came into about $12 million. The table went silent. Forks clattered onto plates. My parents stared at me, wide-eyed and bewildered. Sarah's face, which had been contorted in a sneer, went slack with shock. "What?" she finally managed, her voice barely a whisper. I explained, calmly and factually, about my grandfather's box, the key, and the lottery ticket. I didn't go into the emotional depth of my grandfather's letters, just the bare facts. As I spoke, I could see the disbelief slowly morph into something else in Sarah's eyes. Avarice. My mother was the first to react, rushing over to hug me, tears in her eyes. "Oh, Alex, darling, that's wonderful. Your grandfather always did have a way about him." My father, after recovering from his shock, clapped me on the back, a rare display of overt affection. Sarah, however, was a different story. She stood up, slamming her hands on the table. $12 million? Are you serious? And you just kept this a secret? From your own family? Her voice was rising, laced with an indignation that completely baffled me. "It wasn't a secret, Sarah," I said, trying to keep my voice even. "I only just finalized everything. And it's my money, from grandfather." "From grandfather?" she scoffed. "He left me a few thousand and some old junk. He always favored you, even in death. This is just typical." "Sarah, that's enough," my father interjected, but Sarah was on a roll. "No, it's not enough. Alex, think about it. You're an artist. What do you need with $12 million? You'll just squander it on paint and canvases. I, on the other hand, am a successful lawyer. I know how to manage money. I have a career, a mortgage, a future to think about. This money should be mine. Grandfather should have left it to me. I deserve it more." My jaw dropped. I stared at her, speechless. My parents looked horrified. You deserve it more. I finally managed to say, my voice trembling with a mixture of anger and disbelief. Because you have a real job. Because you've always been the favorite. Grandfather specifically left it to me, Sarah. He knew what he was doing. This is ridiculous, she shrieked. He was old. He probably made a mistake. He should have known I'd put it to better use. You're just going to waste it. She then turned to my parents. Mom, Dad, tell her that it's not right. Tell her she has to share it with me. We are family. My mother, looking uncomfortable, tried to mediate. Well, darling, maybe a small portion, just to help Sarah out, you know, for family harmony. I couldn't believe my ears. My own mother was suggesting I just hand over my inheritance, my grandfather's gift, to my entitled sister. My father, surprisingly, stepped in more firmly. Eleanor, that's not fair. This is Alex's money. Grandfather left it to her. But it's $12 million. Sarah wailed, tears starting to stream down her face, a tactic she had perfected in childhood to manipulate our parents. Think of all the good I could do with it. I could invest it, buy a bigger house, take care of our parents. Alex doesn't need it. She's perfectly happy being a struggling artist. I am not struggling anymore, Sarah, I said, my voice dangerously low. And what I do with my money is my business. It's not yours to dictate, and it certainly isn't yours to demand. You're being selfish, she screamed. You always were. This is why Grandfather gave it to you in such a weird way, so you could hoard it all for yourself. He probably knew you'd be like this. Her husband, who had been silently observing the entire meltdown with a look of increasing discomfort, finally spoke up. Sarah, you're being unreasonable. Alex doesn't owe you anything. Sarah whirled on him. Don't you dare take her side. You're supposed to be my husband. My family. The argument devolved into chaos. Sarah was shouting. My parents were trying to calm her down, and I was just sitting there, completely stunned by the audacity of it all. I finally had enough. I stood up, pushing my chair back. You know what, Sarah? You want to know why Grandfather left it to me this way? Because he knew you'd pull a stunt like this. He knew you'd feel entitled. He wanted to make sure I was protected. And I am. Protected? From what? From your own family, she sneered, her eyes blazing. Yes, Sarah, from you. And you know what else? There's a clause in his will that specifically protects these winnings from being contested by anyone else in the family. He thought of everything. I hadn't planned on revealing that part, but her blatant greed pushed me to it. This seemed to momentarily silence her, a flicker of doubt crossing her face. But it quickly turned back to rage. That's a lie. You're making that up. He wouldn't do that. You can check with his lawyer if you don't believe me, I said, pulling out a business card I had prepared just in case, placing it on the table. He'll confirm everything. This money is legally and unequivocally mine, and I won't be sharing it with you. Not a single cent. With that, I walked out of the house. My parents called after me, but I didn't stop. I got into my car and drove away, leaving the escalating drama behind me. For the next few days, my phone was constantly buzzing. My mother was sending me tearful texts, begging me to come back to make peace with Sarah. My father, to his credit, seemed to be more on my side, sending me messages of support, but also urging me to reconsider the family harmony aspect. Sarah, of course, sent a flurry of accusatory and venomous texts, calling me everything from a greedy witch to a heartless sibling. She even threatened legal action, but her threats felt hollow after I mentioned the clause in my grandfather's will that I ignored most of them. I needed space. I needed to process the fact that my own sister and mother thought I should just hand over my newfound wealth because Sarah deserved it more. It was a painful realization, but also a clarifying one. It solidified my resolve. My grandfather's gift was meant for me, to empower me, not to become another source of conflict. A week later, my parents called me, sounding a little defeated. Sarah had, in fact, contacted my grandfather's lawyer, and he had confirmed everything I said. The lottery ticket was legally mine, and the specific clause in the will prevented anyone from contesting it. The lawyer had apparently been quite firm with Sarah, explaining that any attempt to sue would be a waste of her time and money, and would likely result in her being responsible for my legal fees. Sarah, defeated and enraged, had apparently thrown a massive tantrum, accusing the lawyer of being biased and me of manipulating my grandfather. But the facts were undeniable. The money was mine. My parents, while still expressing some sadness about the family rift, seemed to finally understand that Sarah's demands were completely out of line. My mother even apologized for suggesting I share the money, admitting that Sarah's entitlement had gotten the better of her judgment. I'm still not speaking to Sarah. I haven't blocked her, but I don't respond to her increasingly desperate and sometimes apologetic messages. I know their apologies are just because her grand scheme failed, not out of genuine remorse. I'm giving myself space and time to heal from this. I've started setting up my new art studio. It's everything I've ever dreamed of. I've also quietly paid off my parents' mortgage, with the stipulation that they don't tell Sarah. They were incredibly grateful, and my mother cried, saying it was the greatest gift they could ever receive. My father just hugged me tightly. This whole ordeal has been incredibly stressful, but it has also shown me who truly supports me. My grandfather, even in death, looked out for me in a way I never expected. He knew, better than anyone, what I needed. And in a strange, bittersweet way, his lottery ticket didn't just give me financial freedom. It also gave me emotional clarity and the strength to stand up for myself against years of perceived injustice that I don't know if Sarah and I will ever reconcile. Maybe one day, when she truly understands the error of her ways and not just the failure of her plan. But for now, I'm focusing on my art, my future, and honoring my grandfather's incredible, thoughtful gift. It turns out, my greatest treasure truly was in that wooden box, but not for the reasons anyone expected. It was the gift of independence, the ability to finally step out of my sister's shadow, and the knowledge that I am, at last, truly free.